Hey there. I made a list of topics I'm going to talk about when my brother actually and finally helps me start this podcast. I'm just not great with technology. It's horrible. But this is the first one. What is a license? And do you really need one? Well, let's start with what is a license? A license is permission to do something that would otherwise be illegal. Okay? But listen to this. You need a license to get married. Did you need a license to get married in biblical times? No. So, what does that mean? It means that, in a sense, and in reality, law has been blended with legality. For example, murder is a violation of a code. But that code didn't always exist. But murder was always against the law. Hopefully you're starting to realize, probably, maybe you already do, there's a difference between legal and lawful. So, it's illegal to get married, but is it illegal for a man or a woman to get married? No. It's illegal for a person to get married. Why? Here we go with the language prison. A person, since the 1800s, by legislation, is an incorporation, not a singular live being. And therefore, under the jurisdiction of the government. Government has jurisdiction over businesses. But it doesn't have jurisdiction over singular live man or woman. I'm not talking about gender crap, okay? This is contract. For example, man created government. Can you not see how preposterous it would be that a creation can become the master of its creator? For all of you Christians out there, you think you're God's master? I bet you don't. Yet you allow your government to be yours. I'm not saying you choose that, although a lot of you do, mostly unwittingly. But you still do it. Because the people that are enforcing the mind control, aka government, are getting paid. They're employees. They're just punching in and punching out. It's become generational. Are there bad guys? I mean, you know, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, referring to their actions, I would say horrific. However, their intentions might have been pure in their mind. That's even scarier than if they were evil geniuses going, hee 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 hee. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with. You know, Republicans are supposed to be, ooh, we're all about the Republic. Republican. Yet, because the majority of people think the country is a democracy, they say, you know, democracy, democracy, democracy. So, you care about our republic, but all you do is mention democracy because that's a talking point that the masses will follow you on. No. No, no, no. You're a sellout. You're part of the uniparty, whether you know it or not. Scarier if you don't. People don't realize that the most powerful political body in this country is a common law grand jury, because it's of the people, by the people, and for the people. If you think the government has authority over you, verified authority, like you believe that, you, first of all, aren't really an American. I mean, you can use that term loosely. So, as far as what I'm referring to, you're not. You can't even stand up for yourself. It might be dangerous to stand up for yourself. It shouldn't stop you from standing up for yourself or other people. If their rights that were endowed upon them by their creator, whether that's God, right? Or the creator, or this is quantum theory, you know, being manifested, and there's only one, and everything that's physical is created by your awareness. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's religious and some bro up in the sky, or if it's quantum theory. If you read the Bible and comprehend what is metaphor and what is not, it makes sense. You can't refute that it makes sense. It aligns with quantum theory. It aligns with anything in which people are using objective reasoning and, you know, reasonable deduction. You know, if we had two scientists and they were conducting the same experiment with the same, you know, everything's the same, and one was pissed off and one was, there was no emotion at all, who's going to come up with the most accurate determination? The scientist that's pissed off? Really? I don't know if you can pick up what I'm putting down here. You know, a republic very much aligns with quantum theory. It's just you. Anyway, you don't need a license. When you get a license, you contract with the principality, the government. If you are going to do that, if I were you, would make a valid and timely reservation of your rights. Up above your signature, if you want to use one, I only use my autograph. You put without prejudice, all rights reserved. You know, any form of attempt to reserve your born rights are valid. Remember, you, meaning your race, mankind, okay? There's no black people, there's no white people, there's just people. Mankind, as a race, is equally a species. There's only one species of man, regardless of the color of one of their organs. And that their hair is curlier. Ooh, yeah, you know what that's called? It's called gene pool for a certain period of time. Possibly in a certain climate. Doesn't magically fracture something that can't be fractured. That there's only one race of people, mankind. One kind has a womb, and one kind has a little dinghy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and try to refute this. I get comments from people. They're just, whatever, you know, you think you're smarter than me because, you know, I don't know why. I've done thousands of hours of research, man. I look at things esoterically, meaning the big picture. Most of the people that make comments only exist in either a narcissistic existence where it's just them, or maybe just their family, or just one other person if they actually care, or maybe their cat or their dog or whatever, parrot. And that's their paradigm. Well, when you're reasoning within that paradigm, you're going to be incorrect when the paradigm is the 100 people on your block, or the 10,000 people in your town, or the so many million people in your state, or the 330 million people in your country. They're all different paradigms of thought, logically speaking. They don't all work the same. This should be elementary to you. You have to have a license to fish. I'm sure you have it in some places. You have to have a license to fish on your own property. Why not? They're all bullshit rules anyway. What are they doing? They're pushing the envelope. How far will these people just bend over and take it? Oh shit, okay. Oh, we can't go that far. Getting a little pushback. There needs to be a lot of pushback, and not violent pushback. Violence is stupid. Everything has to do with paper. The entire planet, as far as the people, are captured in a shipping, postal timeline, and banking warfare platform. That's a fact. And everything's on paper, and signatures mean this, and an agreement is this, and everything works in that paradigm. This is the matrix. And just to give you an idea, you know when you, on your phone, it says, do you accept the terms and, you know, terms and agreements? Terms and agreement, right? You just want to like download the app, man. Like, yeah. Okay. You are completely ignorant of the terms and agreement. Terms and conditions, sorry. Right? Doesn't mean you're ignorant. It means you're ignorant of them. You didn't read them. Okay? That's how people are as far as how their existence works within this matrix that we exist in. Governments exist, okay, in people's mind. They don't really exist, right? They can't gain parity with the living unless someone of the living consents to it. And the only way they can consent to something is if the principality proposes something, which is impossible because it's not as real as this piece of paper. It's an idea. So they have to have another singular live being wearing its uniform, that proposes it to this other singular live being on behalf of the thing that doesn't exist in any tangible way. Like this grass. Tangible. Get it? Yes, there is a dichotomy that you exist in. Your physical automaton does exist. Whenever you're dealing with another live man or woman, that's contractual. There has to be agreement, offer an agreement, unless you don't talk to them. Otherwise, you have to have an offer and agreement. Otherwise, what do you have? Slavery, right? Force. You see what I'm saying? That's an incorporation. But we as singular live beings are not incorporated. We created government. Rights can't come from what you created. What you created can't give you rights. If you get to that point, you're fucked. And possibly really stupid. Right? Or ignorant, I should say. Anyway, I ranted for a long time. Love you guys.